I met the loyalty test on a Tuesday afternoon the same way you meet a thunderstorm. It announced itself politely and then rearranged my plans. The message came through Instagram from a gray account with 3 photos of sunsets and a profile name that sounded like a perfume. "Hey," it said, "this is kind of weird. I got your number from Lena's phone when we all met at the gym, but I thought it was safer to DM. Do you have a minute?" There was a winky face that made my shoulders go up by themselves. Lena is my girlfriend and also the kind of person who can make friends with a wall if the wall has a good story. We do not go to the same gym. I scrolled the photos. 2 beaches, 1 latte. 0 tagged people. The grid had the feeling of a room someone cleaned right before you arrived and then pretended had always been this clean. "What's up?" I wrote back, mostly to see what kind of story this was. The typing bubbles did that jittery dance and then, "It's a little delicate. I think we might have chemistry. If Lena would be weird about it, so I wanted to feel you out. Coffee? No pressure. Even through a screen, you can hear a setup clear its throat." I stared at the message and felt my internal group chat light up, my dad's voice reminding me you can't be rude to a trap because a trap doesn't care, my therapist's voice, okay, my therapist's eyebrows, encouraging me to name things, my own voice saying, "Lena is at work right now answering emails with 17 exclamation points, do not bring a bomb to her email." I typed, "No thanks. I'm with Lena. Also if we met, you'll have to remind me when. Those gym nights blur." "No worries," the account chirped back. "You passed," and then a string of party emojis like confetti cannons. "Vera will be thrilled. Vera is Lena's sister. Vera is also the type of older sister who hears a sound in the night and assumes it's both a raccoon and a metaphor. She watches those loyalty test channels where strangers pretend to flirt with someone's partner and then produce a video like a verdict. Last month she had sent us a link titled, "Can Your Relationship Survive a DM?" and Lena, who has a college minor in irony, said, "We can survive Vera," and we laughed, and here we were. I took a screenshot because I own a spine, then texted Lena, "I think your sister hired a sunset to hit on me." No response. She was probably in a meeting about fonts and world peace. I waited 10 minutes, then called her, because sometimes the kindest thing you can do for a person is ruin a meeting with the truth. She answered on the 3rd ring, breathless. "Hey babe, can I call, what? Are you okay?" "I'm okay," I said. "I'm being tested by a beach." There was a rustle like someone finding an empty conference room. "Send me everything," she said, voice already moving toward furious on my behalf and maybe a little for her own. I forwarded the screenshots. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, reappeared, as if Lena were trying to write a sentence that wasn't just, "Vera," in all caps. "Do not engage," she wrote finally. "I'll handle it." A minute later my phone buzzed with a new notification, "Vera calling." I answered because sometimes the most productive thing you can do is let the train hit you instead of playing chicken with it. "Congratulations," she said. No hello. No apology. You passed. This is going to be so good for both of you. "Vera," I said. I tried to keep my voice in a room labeled adult. "What if I had failed?" "You didn't," she said, bright. "I knew you wouldn't. But now we know no." "I already knew no," I said. "Lena already knew no." "You think you know until the data comes back," she said, like a lab coat. "Anyway, I used a dummy. No one real got hurt." "What about me?" I asked. "You're fine," she said, and hung up, the way people do when they decide the scene is over and the credits should roll. I walked around my apartment touching the counters like they were buttons. It is a particular kind of insult to have your partner's trust audited by someone who loves them. It feels like you've been accused of a petty crime by the neighborhood watch. I took a breath and reminded myself, Vera is not the state, Vera is one person who has podcasts and anxiety. Lena would talk to her. We would draw a boundary you could see from space. And then the screenshots arrived. Not from Vera. From a different account with a name like a furniture store. "Hey," it said, "this is probably going to blow up your day, but you should see this." 3 images, my conversation with the Sunset account, arranged in Instagram's chat view, but different. My no thanks was missing. In its place, coffee could be fun winking face, just keep it discreet. My heart did the thing where it looks for an exit. "Who are you?" I typed. "Friend," they wrote. "I hate loyalty tests. Take care." The account deleted itself in front of me, as if it had always been smoke. I called Lena again and said the most idiotic urgent thing, "I need you to look at your screen right now." She inhaled in a way that made me want to be every soft thing in the world, and then she said, "Come to my office." Her office is a design studio with a couch so low it might be a social experiment. When I arrived, she was waiting in the lobby like an attorney. She hugged me hard. "I'm on your side," she said into my shoulder. "You know that, right?" "I do," I said. "But the internet would like a word." We sat on the couch that thinks it is a rug and spread out our evidence like we were about to do arts and crafts. Lena had already texted Vera, their message thread glowed with sister. "I told her she can be angry at men without turning my boyfriend into a science fair," Lena said. "She said she's protecting me." I said, "By inventing a woman." She sent a TikTok about red flags. I showed Lena the altered screenshots. She leaned so close to my phone we both fogged it. "That's not what you wrote," she said. "I read your messages in real time." "Someone cropped," I said. "Or edited. Or dragged the message bubbles into hell and rearranged them." "Who sent you this?" she asked. "An account that disappeared like Cinderella's Uber." We stared at the screen the way you stare at a snake you're not sure is rubber. "We have to assume someone is trying to make this a plot," Lena said. "And we're not going to let them." I love her when she is funny, and also when she becomes a person who says plot like she is pointing at a cliff and deciding to move it. We went to Vera's apartment because this is a world in which sometimes you take the fight to the person who thinks fights are productive. She opened the door already mid-sentence. "I am not the enemy," she said, which is a sentence enemies love. This is accountability culture. We have evidence that men. "I am a man who said no to a beach," I said, and took off my shoes because I am Midwestern and respect hardwood floors even during attacks. "You sent a test." I declined. Then someone edited the test to make it look like I didn't. Vera blinked in that slow way people blink when they realize they forgot a step. "Edited?" Lena thrust my phone at her. Vera scrolled, frowned, scrolled again. "I didn't do this," she said. "I used a dummy account I made last night. I sent 3 DMs, 2 from the gym story and 1 asking for coffee. Then I archived the account." "Who else had access?" Lena asked. "No one," Vera said. "I did it myself. It took 6 minutes. I watched a tutorial." "Then how," Lena said carefully, "did a third account get a copy of the chat?" Vera looked at me. "Screenshots are easy. People forward things. Maybe someone you know." Lena's laugh had no air in it. "We are not crowdsourcing suspicion," she said. "We are going to do the adult thing where we assume stupidity before malice and call the stupid person who runs the loyalty test page you sent me last month and see if they've gotten creative." "I didn't send it to them," Vera said, defensive. "I'm not a narc." "Do you follow them?" Lena asked. "Yes," Vera said, then smaller, "everyone does." The loyalty test account, one of those neon font, black background pages that looks like a nightclub for screenshots, had a business email in their bio. Lena emailed from her work address with the subject, "Urgent, false content involving my partner." She wrote like a designer with murder training, concise, precise, terrifying. Attached is our unedited thread. If any version of this appears, we will pursue legal action. She CC'd Vera. Then she looked at her sister and said, "You either help us or get out of the way." Vera's face did the thing where an apology thinks about moving in. "Okay," she said. "I'll help." We waited. Nothing posted. The Neon account replied with a canned message, "We receive hundreds of submissions," which made me imagine a conveyor belt of broken hearts in JPEG form. Then, an hour later, a new DM from a different furniture store name, "Meet at Ned's at 6 if you want to see who sent the edits." Ned's is a coffee shop with chairs designed by someone who hates knees. Trap? I asked. "Definitely," Lena said. "We're going." "Of course we're going," Vera said. "I'm bringing a tote bag like a prop." We arrived at 5:50 and sat at the back near a plant you could hide a child in. At 6:06, a woman around our age walked in wearing sunglasses like a celebrity and a sweatshirt that said normal. She slid into the seat across from us without asking and put her phone face down on the table, which is universal for, let's lie to each other diplomatically. "You're early," she said. "Good. Who are you?" Lena asked. "Publicist," she said. "Sometimes consultant. Sometimes friend. Depends on the package." She smiled at Vera. "You hired my client once removed. Don't worry, you're not in trouble. The video didn't meet his engagement threshold." "We're not worried about the video," I said. "We're worried about the edit." The publicist shrugged. "That's the product," she said, as if she were telling us water was wet. "Everyone edits. No one cares. Viewers want a feeling." Lena's mouth opened and then remembered it had laws. She closed it again. "We care," she said. "If any of it posts, we will make a feeling in small claims court." The publicist exhaled, bored. "It's not posting," she said. "It's already sold. Microshow. 2 producers are slicing loyalty tests into episodes about relationships. Yours didn't make the cut, but it made a nice clip. Someone bought it for a compilation. It has a caption, 'Imagine getting caught this way.'" I felt a small pain behind my eyes that meant a new part of my brain was being born specifically to load the word compilation. "Who sold it?" I asked. She looked at Vera with the professional kindness of someone who knows they're about to put a person on a grill and would prefer they not cry on the way. "Your contact," she said. She saw the thread and reached out. She does a bounty program. Any test that goes viral gets a cut. "My contact?" Vera said. "I didn't contact anyone." The publicist's sunglasses slid down her nose like a reveal in a magic trick. "Her name is Claire," she said. "She uses a different handle every day. She submitted from a throwaway with your sister's name in the bio. There's a referral code attached to your main account, Vera. You might not have meant to send it to her. But you did." Vera looked like a person who has just realized her house has secret doors. "I followed a tutorial," she said. The tutorial had links. It said, "Share your results with the community." I clicked. I thought it meant a subreddit. "It meant my client," the publicist said. "He has a community of one goal." "How much money," Lena asked softly, "is a cropped sentence worth?" $25, the publicist said. She said it like she was saying the weather. The number hit me in the stomach the way small numbers sometimes do. If it had been 1,000, it would have been evil with a tuxedo. 25 is petty evil in sweatpants. It told the truth. None of this was personal, and that made it worse. Lena sat back, breathed, and did something I'll love her for forever. She reached out and took Vera's hand. "This is bigger than you," she said. "But you helped feed it. We're done feeding it." Vera nodded and bent in on herself like a paper crane. "I'm sorry," she said, and didn't say to whom because it was to everyone. We asked the publicist for the clip. She showed us on her phone. The edit was surgical, my "no thanks, I'm with Lena" was cut, and the winky face from the Sunset account had been duplicated near my supposed "keep it discreet." There was a dramatic zoom. A sound effect that made my spine itch. A caption, "When he's too smooth." "This dies here," Lena said. The Publicist shrugged again, but this time there was a little respect in it. "I'll tell my client you're litigious," she said. "He'll find someone else to ruin." We went home with that particular quiet you carry after you put out a fire that wanted to become a neighborhood. Lena made pasta badly and we ate it gratefully. Vera cried on the couch, then cleaned our whole sink as if redemption were a chore. We should have gone to bed and declared the day over. We did not. Because life is funny that way. At 1:13 a.m., my phone pinged with a text from an unknown number. "Miss me?" with a heart. I stared. Lena was in the shower. The number had my area code. The message had the confidence of a person who had walked into a party in the wrong decade. I didn't respond. I copied it into notes because I have the soul of a librarian. The next morning, Lena's sister's boyfriend, who is gentle and talks to plants, called to say, "My laptop says someone logged into an Instagram account from my house at 1:10. I clicked a link in a DM earlier, I think I got phished. Please tell me I didn't ruin something." We rebuilt the crime in 15 minutes, the loyalty test, community, had scripts that scrubbed followers for weak points. Vera's boyfriend clicked, his session token spilled, someone used it to access Vera's DM history, the edit could be made prettier from inside, the "miss me" text was a coward's encore. Nothing about it was romantic. Everything about it was efficient. We changed passwords like it was our job. We turned on every lock the internet sells. Vera deleted her tutorial folder like it was a cursed doll. When the adrenaline ran out, the sadness remained, the kind that feels like a weighted blanket made of emails. I went for a walk to return my body to myself. When I came back, Lena was at the table with a legal pad and the face she gets when she decides to build a fence. "Let's write rules," she said. "Not for the internet. For us. I want to be on your side on purpose. I don't want to outsource that job to a stranger with a screen recorder." We wrote the kind of rules kindergartners understand and adults forget. If something feels off, say it out loud before you say it online. If a third party brings us a test, we decline twice, once for politeness, once for emphasis. If a family member wants to protect, they can do it by washing a dish or standing next to us at a party. We do not let the word data sit in a sentence alone without the word context holding its hand. We do not test people we love like smoke alarms. Vera, read the list. She nodded. She asked if she could write the last one. She wrote, "If you think a stranger on the internet knows more about your relationship than you do, you are tired. Go to sleep." We framed it and hung it by the door because we are dramatic in the right directions. The loyalty test account messaged Vera a few days later with a template apology she didn't accept. The Publicist sent a note that said, "Clip pulled." As discussed. We waited for fallout that never came. Maybe someone else's $25 bought our silence. Maybe we got lucky. Maybe, and this is my favorite, boredom won. The internet likes its tragedies bigger than one cropped sentence in a coffee shop. Here's the part one didn't expect. I felt closer to Lena afterward, not because we survived a storm, but because we learned to name wind. We started telling each other when we were tempted to be stupid. "I almost looked at your phone while you were in the shower," she said one day, blushed like a small flag. I didn't. But I want you to know the part of me that wanted to. I told her when a coworker's innocent compliment made me practice a speech in my head. We didn't confess as penance, we did it the way you tell someone where you put the soup so they can find it later. Vera changed too, in the slow, uninstagrammable ways. She still sends me TikToks, but now they are of grandma's crushing workouts and a man who rescues beavers. She started therapy, or as she calls it, paid thinking. She apologized to me with a letter handwritten on stationery she had clearly bought for this purpose, and let me tell you, an apology that arrives on paper is like a national park. You feel grateful it exists even if you never expected to see it. She also gave Lena a tiny gold charm in the shape of a lock. Not for you to put on him, she said, touching her sister's wrist, for you to put on me. We didn't become saints. 2 months later, at a party, a woman who knew Vera through work cornered me in the kitchen and said, "I heard you passed a loyalty test," in the tone of someone saying, "I heard you won the lottery with a scratcher." I smiled and said, "We retired from that sport, and changed the subject to cheese, which is my hobby." Lena squeezed my hand under the counter like a cousin of thank you. If you want a moral, here is mine: do not audition the people you love. Hire them or don't. Don't make them sing in the lobby. And if you're going to let the internet into your relationship, make sure it's to watch a cooking tutorial together, not to outsource courage. Sometimes, when I'm scrolling and my thumb gets that itch that says, "Let's click on the loud thing," I go to our legal pad rules and say them out loud like a spell. And when my phone lights up with a message from a beach, I remind myself there are only 2 people who get to interview me for this job, me and Lena, and the way we answer is by quietly doing it. Last weekend, we were at Ned's, the scene of our original meeting with the woman in sunglasses, and an older couple was arguing warmly about a crossword. He thought the answer was Robin, she thought it was Wren. He said, "Babe, the clue is thief," and she said, "Ah," and underlined the box with a flourish like a person forgiving a small debt. We watched them and smiled and didn't say it, but thought it: let our fights be about birds. Let our tests be whether we remember to buy milk. Let our data be how often we say the boring thing that keeps the house gentle. On the way out, Lena slipped her hand into mine and said, "You know what I'm thinking?" I said, "No, but I'm ready," and she said, "I'm thinking about all the ways we used to try to measure love and how stupid those rulers were. I like our ruler better." "What's our ruler?" I asked. She grinned. "Who does the dishes when the other person has had a day," she said. "Who tells the waiter we didn't order this but it's fine? Who says, 'I believe you,' before the story is done? It is not a number you can graph. It will not go viral. It is a thing you know.